A staggering 70% of fatal accidents involving the elderly happen in the bathroom. But get this, it's not because of a slippery floor. The real killer is something most of us do every single day without a second thought, and it's hiding in plain sight. Let's find out what it is.
So when I ask you this, what's the first thing that pops into your head? A wet floor, right? Maybe a loose rug. And yeah, those are for sure dangerous. But the biggest danger, the one we're talking about today, it has nothing to do with the floor. It's all about when you're in that room.
Let me tell you about Bu Nunung. She's 68. In this quote, this is what she remembers from the morning she just collapsed. She was doing what she'd done for decades, just taking her morning shower. The floor wasn't soapy, she didn't trip over anything. 1 second, she's fine. The next, total blackout. And her story, it's terrifyingly common, and it points to a pattern that we have got to understand.
And that pattern brings us right back to this number, 70%. I mean, think about that. A full 70% of fatal accidents for our elders happen in the bathroom. But here's the kicker, the part we're all missing. It's not about slipping. It's about a sudden blackout, a loss of consciousness. And the cause is so simple, it's almost unbelievable. Just bathing at the wrong time of day.
Okay, so to really get why timing is everything, we need to do a little Biology 101. We've got to look at what's actually happening inside our bodies as we age. The changes, they're gradual, you don't really notice them day to day, but they all add up, creating this perfect storm of vulnerabilities that can turn something as simple as a shower into a really dangerous situation.
I love this analogy. It makes so much sense. Think about your blood vessels like a brand new garden hose. It's super flexible, right? You can twist it, and when you turn the water on full blast, it expands and handles the pressure, no problem. But what about that old hose that's been sitting in the sun for like 20 years? It's stiff, it's brittle, a sudden burst of pressure and crack. That's exactly what happens to our blood vessels as we get older. They lose that elasticity and just can't handle sudden changes in blood pressure anymore.
And it's not just the pipes, The pump, the heart muscle itself gets a bit less efficient. And get this, the body's internal thermostat, its ability to regulate temperature, it slows way down. It can take an older person 15, even 20 minutes to adjust to a temperature change that would take a younger person just 5. So you've got stiff pipes, a less efficient pump, and a slow thermostat. It really is the perfect storm, leaving the body wide open and unable to handle any sudden shock.
Okay, so now that we understand the why, this vulnerable state of the body, let's get into the when. We're going to break down the 3 specific times of day when taking a shower or bath goes from a simple routine to a high-risk activity. And honestly, these are the times every single one of us needs to know, for our parents, our grandparents, or even for ourselves down the line.
All right, danger zone number 1. This is the big one, the most common time for these accidents to happen, the very early morning. We're talking between 3 and 6 a.m. It's that time when so many of our elders have this deep-rooted habit of waking up, maybe for prayer or just to get a head start on the day, just like Bu Nunung.
So let's look at the chain reaction that happens here. First, your body naturally goes through something called the morning surge. It floods your system with stress hormones and jacks up your blood pressure to wake you up. Now, for those older, stiffer blood vessels, that's already a challenge. But then you add the shock of cold water. Bam! Those vessels clamp down, they constrict. Suddenly, the heart has to work like crazy to force blood through these tiny, narrow passages. The result? The risk of a heart attack or stroke literally triples. It's a biological trap. Okay, danger zone number 2 is the complete opposite of the morning. It's late at night, between 10 p.m. and midnight. Your body isn't surging with energy. It's doing the exact opposite. It's shutting down, getting ready for sleep. Everything is slowing down. Your reflexes, your reaction time, everything.
And the big problem here is something called orthostatic hypotension. That's a fancy term for a simple thing. You know that dizzy feeling you get when you stand up too fast? That's it. Now imagine this. You're in a warm bath. That warmth makes all the blood vessels in your legs open up, get wider. Then, an older person stands up from sitting or squatting. All that blood just pools in their legs, and it can't get back up to the brain fast enough. Blood pressure plummets, dizziness, fainting. And here's the really scary part. For a senior, that dizzy spell can last 10 times longer. 10 times!
And now for our third and final danger zone, and this is one almost nobody thinks about: bathing right after you've eaten the big meal. Let me tell you about Pak Ilham. He was 71. He had a big lunch, felt a little sticky, and decided to hop in the shower. And that's when he collapsed.
So here's what's going on. When you eat a big meal, your body is smart.
It sends a massive amount of its resources, we're talking up to 70% of your blood flow, straight to your stomach to digest that food. That means there's less blood and less oxygen for your brain and your heart. Now you jump in a warm shower. Your body gets totally confused. It's like, wait, I need blood in the stomach for digestion, but now I also need blood at the skin to cool down. The whole system gets overloaded. It's just like when your computer has too many programs open at once. It just freezes up, it hangs. The body's system crashes, and that leads to fainting.
Okay, that was a lot of scary information, I know. But here's the good news. The solution is so simple. It doesn't involve any expensive equipment or medication. It's all about just changing the time of your bath to what doctors call the golden hours, the absolute safest times to bathe.
Pay attention to this, because this is probably the single most important slide we're going to look at. On one side, you have the high-risk times we just talked about, but on the other, you have the golden hours. The safest times are between 9 and 10 in the morning, and then again in the afternoon, between 4 and 6 p.m. Why? Simple. During these times, your body is at its most stable. The morning pressure surge is long gone, you're not tired and winding down for sleep, and you're not in the middle of digesting a huge meal. Everything is just normal.
And this isn't just theory. We know it works. Let's talk about Pa Kramawan. He's 72. He used to take his shower at 5 a.m. every morning and would always get these terrifying dizzy spells. He almost fell so many times. His doctor gave him one piece of advice. Just move your shower to 9 a.m. He did. And just like that, the dizziness was gone. Vanished. Not only did he feel better, but his wife could finally stop worrying every single morning.
And that's really what this all boils down to, isn't it? One tiny change to a daily routine. That's the difference between staying safe and independent and having a completely preventable tragedy. So let's wrap this up with a few more really practical, life-saving tips you can use right away. Okay, here are some bonus tips, and they're all super important. First, when you wake up, don't just jump out of bed. Sit on the edge for 2 or 3 minutes. Just let your body and your blood pressure catch up. Second, always use warm water, not ice cold and definitely not scalding hot. Third, if for some reason a bath during one of those danger times is just absolutely unavoidable, please have someone just wait right outside the door. And of course, keep up with those regular checkups to keep an eye on blood pressure and everything else. And don't think these are small changes with small results. We're talking about a massive impact. Just by moving your bath time to the golden hours and following these simple tips, you can slash the risk of a serious accident by up to 80%. 80! Look at that difference. This is without a doubt one of the easiest and most powerful things you can do for your health and safety. Look, I get it. Changing a habit you've had for 50, 60 years, that's hard. It can feel like you're giving up a piece of your independence or admitting you're getting older. But I want you to reframe that. This isn't about being weak. It is absolutely about being wise. It's about being smart enough to adapt to the changes your body is going through. Because your family, your kids, your grandkids, they still need you. They need your stories. They need you here.
So in the end, it really comes down to this one question. What's more important? A habit you started when you were 20 years old, or making one simple change that could give you decades more with the people you love? Please, I'm asking you, share this with your parents, your grandparents, anyone you care about. It's a 5-minute conversation that could literally save their life.